Are we live? I think we're live.
Yeah,
Hello.
we are.
So, for those of you who are probably listening to this on Spotify or any other streaming platform that we're putting the podcast on, we will be recording this live on Sunday, preferably on the last game week or last match of the game week. I know Brighton play Palace tomorrow, and that's a big thing. But Monday is a bit tricky for all of us because it's a late kickoff. I think it's about 1:30 or 12:15, 12:30 a.m.
5:30. Yeah.
IST on a Tuesday, and for me that should be around 3 or 4 o'clock, which is the middle of the workday. I'm not in the middle of the workday, but it's like it's a Monday, so it's difficult to make that time happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to like try and make sure that these pods come out on, go live on YouTube on a Monday, and from then we can take it from there, and then just like um, have the pods ready for if you want like pods ready to listen on Spotify whenever you guys are free. So if it's recorded today, should be out by Monday tomorrow morning without any issues. Nobody else is here except Akshay and I this time because the other two are seem to be quite preoccupied. I think Tushar will join us a little later on in the episode today. But in the meantime, let's just discuss the game week that is currently unfolding. We are around the 60th minute mark of watching the Spurs and Arsenal game, and Spurs have completely imploded. I watched the first half. I know Akshay was just getting back in, so he may not have caught it.
Yeah, I missed that in the first
Yeah,
half.
and there was absolute chaos from Spurs in the first half. They completely um, shat the bed, so to speak, because as bad as they were in the first half, they weren't as bad as like Spurs were in the first half. Arsenal weren't very good. They did the just. Yeah, Shreyas is back in the chat as per usual. So as
Of
bad as
course.
Arsenal were in the sorry, what am I saying? My train of thought is just completely gone. As bad as Spurs were in the first half, Arsenal weren't too great either, but it was just Spurs' incompetencies that just gave Arsenal an impetus to keep attacking and keep attacking. And here we are, 3 nil. I think with like half an hour to play, and the ball comes in. Oh my god, it's a shit pass. This should just call this game off. This is a terrible game. So this makes three back-to-back defeats
Spurs.
for Spurs with the 3 nil deficit. Like, let me, I
You
don't
want a
know.
moment?
Yeah, I need a moment. My brain is not functioning pretty well this morning. Okay, but anyway, Akshay, what do you think, bro? What's happening?
So I think second half, from whatever I've seen right now,
Mm,
Spurs are quite dominating,
mm,
attacking more than Arsenal at this point.
mm-hmm.
I feel like a goal is coming, but won't be enough for them to push through and win the game.
That's always nice to see Ramdale and Tomiyasu patting each other on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great shot from Kane too, right there.
Yeah, it was a good
Uh,
shot, but
hmm.
good stop by Ramsdale.
So anyway, what does this mean for Spurs? Does this mean Nuno is about to get absolutely walloped, or you think there is a chance that Levy will pull the trigger? Because the Spurs look really bad. They look really bad. There's no pattern of play. They're trying to like score one and sit back and defend it, but they can't even score that. Kane
So
looks
that,
like a passenger.
yeah,
He seems to have
I think
dropped
they were,
weight.
yeah, and I think they were better off without him, to be honest.
Yeah, the three games,
Like
three.
first three
Yeah.
games that they played, he came on the third game as a sub, right? If I'm
Mm-hmm.
not wrong. And they won that quite easily
Easily. Mm.
compared to what they've been playing the last 2 3 games.
No, but they've been always conceding more number of shots than any other team. There was a piece in the Athletic about how, in terms of all the wrong metrics, Spurs are right at the top.
Oh,
Most shots
that should have
conceded.
that should have been a goal.
Oh, really? Okay, I just saw it.
Yeah,
Oi, Kane! Oh,
should have
Kane.
should have put that in, but it might have been offside and a foul.
You, was he off?
Looked slightly off, but I think he fouled the other guy, right? If I'm not wrong.
No. He didn't. He had that guy just fell down. There's nothing anywhere there. But I mean, Arsenal have a new lease of life. They have an interesting set of fixtures coming up, which means they could go on to do some. Um, what do you call? I mean, they could go on a run and
Yeah,
probably
hopefully.
get their season back on track because this is a great result to start off with. If you're
Yeah,
being
totally. Yeah,
completely honest. Speaking of not so great results, Shreyas has put out a wonderful comment in the chat. He talks about uh, what is happening to United. I wish I knew, Shreyas. I watched the game
yeah,
yesterday. I
yeah.
watched the game yesterday, and I mean, first of all, Peacock, your streaming services, do not saddle me with commentators that are like different to what's happening in the game. Like I know Robbie Earl is sitting here in the States. I don't want that. Like give me a commentator that's in the stadium because it looks the audio level, the matching is completely different.
It's
You
it's
can
off,
tell, you
completely off.
can
Yeah.
yeah, you can tell that they're
Mm,
lowering the stadium noise to make sure that the commentators are more clearer. And oh my god, it was just so weird to listen. And I think a lot of no, I just wasn't the person who had this complaint. A lot of people did. Like if
mm.
this continues, I'll just stick to go back to Hotstar on VPN, dude. I mean, it's the
I
least.
think I think that might be a better option.
Yeah, it's what
Yeah,
it is, a third of the cost, and it is, and I don't have to worry about nonsense like stupid stunts like this. It
yeah.
makes no sense whatsoever. Just like don't. And then this morning, it's Arlo White on NBCSN, which is good. I mean, he's mostly on most what do you call uh, big matches anyway. But anyway, back to the United game. United look very disjointed. Actually, did
Yeah,
you watch
they
the game?
unfortunately had sat through the full entire thing.
Oh really? I mean, I
Yeah,
was it was 7:30 in the morning, so I woke up at 8:45, and by then I think the major
yeah. The,
I missed the first half, and I've been told that the first half was significantly better than the second.
it really was. Greenwood had a very open chance to pass it to, I think, Bruno,
Hmm.
and he was selfish enough to take. No, not to Bruno. I think it was to Ronaldo, and he was selfish enough to take the shot, and it obviously got deflected and saved.
I
But
mean, Greenwood was frustrating for me to watch in the second half because he kept shooting when there were other options available.
yeah,
And
exactly,
I know,
exactly.
and he kept cutting in on the right. He's like, okay, I'm going to force the shot. I'm going to force the shot. I'm going to force the shot here.
Yeah.
It just wasn't happening. And at some point, you could tell he was getting frustrated by it. And which is why I was like, listen, set it up on a plate for somebody else. And the longer the
Mhm.
game went on, the more Villa, what do you call, looked like threatening. And there was this great chance for Jacob Ramsey, and then he falls to the floor.
Yeah,
Everyone thinks he's hurt his knee, but
that was quite
actually
dramatic.
he's just slipped and he was like trying to save face. It was quite funny because he got back up and he was running fine in the next 5 minutes anyway.
But he
So
did get subbed off, right?
no, he
Eventually,
was playing, right? I
he
think
got subbed off
eventually,
eventually.
like
Yeah,
much later, but like not when like everyone thought his ACL had popped somewhere the way he went down.
yeah.
But clearly that wasn't the case.
But
Um,
let's get to Shreyas's question.
let's get to that. So what
Yeah,
happens in the 86th minute? Um, Courtney House concedes. I mean, Courtney House goes in at the near post
yeah,
um, from a corner. Villa go 1-0 up. Ollie Watkins is in an offside position, intruding the goalkeeper's line of sight, but I don't think
which was overlooked.
which is over. I mean, that just seems to be a pattern of play these days. Surprising. I don't know why, but that seems to be happening quite often, specifically the United games. And I think this was the first time it
Yeah,
actually came back to bite them in the ass with the VAR was, you know,
mhm.
usually it's been inconsequential. I would say the Bruno situation at Southampton was another one, where it was
Yeah,
clearly a foul, but we somehow can play it on. But now in uh, whatever, like that's no excuse because
mhm.
for the Courtney House goal because Cavani loses him at the front post,
Yeah.
and
That was yeah,
yeah, he should have been marking him better. Then fast forward to the other end of the other end of the pitch, and within seconds, United have a penalty.
yeah.
Now this is what as much as I was annoyed by it. You have to appreciate the graft from Emi Martinez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He
because Emi Martinez wound everybody up.
Yeah,
he went after Ronaldo and said, "I
but
expect you to take the pen. Why aren't you taking the pen? You should take the pen. I'm expecting you to take the pen." And he pissed Bruno off. And I think Bruno was angry enough to just go whack it straight down the middle. And he,
not even straight down the middle. He like
and
skied it for no
yeah, I know. I think he went for power over placement, and I expect him to take the next one too because that's just how we roll as a team. But that
I
second
think
half,
he'll continue sticking with
yeah.
the penalties. And I think Ole put out a statement also that even though Bruno did what he did, he's still going to continue taking the penalties.
Actually, check your mic. What is it on?
Was it not loud enough?
No, no, it's not clear. What mic have you used as a setup?
The normal one.
No, check it in the cam mic settings. What's picking?
Microphone array.
That's the audio?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What is this boy saying?
Is he not joining? How are we doing now?
Well, if he comes online, we are stupid fellow. Uh, but yeah, why did Ronaldo take the pen? I think it was a decision um, that the team took. I mean, they didn't want to like disrupt. I assume Solskjaer still wanted Bruno on pens because his hit rate is quite insane, right?
Yeah. There's a 93% conversion rate or something, right, for
Yeah.
pens.
So I mean, okay, it's a bad day at the office, but
Yeah.
the the lack of a style of play is starting to become very apparent now, and that's 3 defeats in 4 games.
5 games, right? 4 and 5. If you take into account, I think, yeah, four games.
Young boys, West Ham and Aston Villa. Oh man. But yeah, this game seems to have petered out. I mean, Arsenal seem to be
I think
just,
Arsenal taking it through all the way.
yeah. Did you watch the City Chelsea? So, I mean, we'll get to City Chelsea in a bit.
But
But now,
Tushar come on,
let Tushar come for that.
let him,
But
let him give his 2 cents on it.
but Ronaldo's, I mean, if Bruno misses the next one, Ronaldo is obviously going to be back on it.
Yeah, definitely.
So expect that. I mean, I was a little bummed from an FPL perspective because once again, I have had a horrible week.
I think 95% of us have had horrible weeks.
It's just it was insane. But there have been people on 66 points and stuff. I don't know how they've gotten there. We'll quickly touch upon Brentford Liverpool. I know this is a game
Oh,
you followed
that was
closely.
that was
So,
intense.
yeah, so you take us through it.
I think Liverpool had a early chance in the game, but
From Salah.
I think it was from Salah. But I think it
Yeah.
was offside, right? If I'm not wrong.
No, I think it gets cleared off the line in the 6th minute, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's cleared off the line. Correct.
yeah.
That was. I think if that goal had gone in, I think it would have been game over. To be honest. But Brentford, hats off to them. They played really well. Some really lovely football between them. Counter-attacking football. It was just like a goal fest basically in the second half.
Okay, no, like how did this? So I know is that Brentford took the lead and then Jota equalized within about 4 minutes,
Within 5
and
minutes,
then
yeah.
yeah, and then Salah scored. I think in the second in the opening bits of the second
That's
half.
Not exactly opening minutes, but like 54th minute or
Okay,
55th minute.
stats man to the rescue. Anyway,
Yeah.
then
And within I think 5 to 7 minutes post that, Brentford equalized. And then I think Liverpool were quite uh, dominant post that goal, and Curtis Jones' goal was actually quite brilliant. Took a near post shot and just somehow ended.
yeah, I saw it. They were three. Did Brentford go 3-1? Did Liverpool go 3-1?
No, it was 3-2.
It was three. So it was 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. Is it
3-3. Yeah.
interesting? Well, that makes for. I mean, everyone dropped points, so which is pretty insane this week.
except City,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
but yeah, that's a great
And
segue.
Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal seem to be pulping these guys right now. I mean, I don't know if you watched the first half. The first half was absolute chaos. Oi, but
So back to the Brentford game. I think
hmm,
Raya played a really good game.
hmm,
He had, even though he let 3 goals in, he had quite a few good saves that actually saved them from losing the game heavily.
hmm.
Yeah, that's on my side. Okay.
Okay, let's talk about City Chelsea. How's that going?
I mean, I think Tuchel took the if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it and
Hmm,
sit back and hit them on the counter thing.
hmm,
But the way they were pressing, man, like it was just crazy how much we got pressed. Uh, we weren't able to move the ball around.
hmm.
Um, we didn't have a good game. Basically, we didn't really have a great game at all. Uh, but I mean, it was 1-0 at the end.
Hmm.
Wasn't a very, very big difference. If one of those counters had gone in, it would have been like a. I was expecting a draw.
There was in the 90th minute there was a chance, right?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure who it fell to, but I remember it there being like a significant chance in the 90th minute that Chelsea squandered. And so these are the kind of games that I've had issues with Lukaku, and I've always brought this up. But I'm not quite sure if he's had what do you call what kind of a game he had, because I was watching our beautiful boys play against Villa, absolutely shit the bed there. So how was he in that game?
I don't know. Like you said, in the clutch games, he's not coming through.
Hmm.
He was barely existent in this game. But I feel like more than him being bad, it was just City was just so good. Like Bernardo and Cancelo were amazing that game, dude. They were just killing us everywhere. And the two guys that are having a bad game were Jorginho and Lukaku. Like,
I think
and
Jorginho got subbed
if
off also, right?
how?
Did he get subbed off because he was not good or because he got injured or something?
No, I think both of them were not
Oh,
good.
guys! I just want to I want to interrupt you here. I'm seeing Thierry Henry on screen with Daniel Ek. So,
Yeah,
you
Ronaldo
think
just got the
you think
start.
that's a play? That seems to be a bit of a play, because
Could be.
Thierry Henry, Daniel Ek is of course the owner of Spotify, and him and Thierry Henry are at the Emirates. This is I mean, it's well publicized that Spotify want to buy Arsenal. So this is interesting. This is a very interesting situation. But speaking of strikers who are misfiring and scoring and not being great in front of goal, did any of you get a chance to see Jimenez's goal this today?
Not really.
No,
It was
no, I
almost
didn't watch the game.
Leo Messi-esque. It's one long
Oh yeah.
ball from the keeper, and then Jimenez controls
Oh
it,
yeah.
beats 4 to 5 defenders, and slots it
Oh crazy.
in the back of the net. And it's crazy celebrations. Obviously, it's his first goal in about 335 days. It's quite, and so he's obviously very emotional. But
Yeah.
for all these your fantasy aficionados, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time the Jimenez
It's a
train rolls
time.
back in. Anyway, what are the other fixtures that we haven't covered, if not already? Like, what are the big pertinent points? I'm going to ask those
With
about
what points?
the pertinent points. Yesterday night I was having dinner with a friend, and he mentioned he's very clear on the fact that Ole's time is done. Like, he's taken this team as far as he can possibly go. And we were talking replacements. So I want to know what. Obviously, when Sid's back on the episode, we'll do this with him as well. If you were to bring in somebody to replace him, who would you bring in?
Playing manager Ronaldo.
Ah,
Zidane,
but why Zidane?
he can manage Ronaldo.
That is true. That is true.
Also, man management is amazing. But again, Zidane doesn't have tactics, dude. He just
No,
has
dude.
great.
Again, yeah, it's again going to be
He's a
more of the same,
Champions League player, manager.
which is not a bad thing to
No,
be,
even
but
even league he can do well, but he doesn't know what to do if you are losing.
Mm.
I'm sure Zidane won
See,
the title once, right?
yeah, I think
Yeah,
he
he did. He
won.
did. He won
Yeah,
it once,
he won
but he did the
Darlington.
three Champions League back to back. That is
Yeah,
more
first.
Yeah,
insane than anything
Yeah.
else.
that's very
But you know what? We say three Champions League back to back, but there have been some games, and YouTube has been throwing suggestions of late about like Champions
Oh,
League games, which I've been
I just,
watching. Yeah, one sec.
yeah,
Oh,
the Sun scored. If
mm,
you haven't reached there yet.
mm. Oh, come on, 12 minutes. This is interesting. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Shaka's on the floor.
I think that United missing the penalty was karma, dude. For stupid Ole that jives that he keeps giving.
I mean, he's not wrong about the Ronaldo
I
pen
mean,
not being
last
given.
year you guys got a lot of free pens. This year they're a little more cautious and overly cautious with you guys.
Huh.
So
And then no, that I expect that to change. And we spoke about this before you came on
Yeah.
about how most of it was Emi Martinez just winding everybody up, uh, and like he even wound the crowd up towards the end, because that's when he does that whole like groin slapping celebration that is
yeah,
very common. It's like okay, interesting
But
stance, but
he's known for doing this.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's
he's like
done it in the Copa America also.
yeah, yeah.
So
Hey, that's how is Shaka, dude, poor guy, bystander, he got fouled. Ooh, that's hurt. That's got to hurt.
yeah.
It's not quite fun.
But speaking of the United game, I think once Shaw and Maguire went off, I think the game was over.
No, I
dude,
don't think.
it looked like Villa were playing for the title, dude, not United. Like they were like ferocious. Like
Villa played really well. They had
Dude, John
many
McGinn.
many
I
chances
I
which they
really
played.
like. If everyone talks about Declan Rice, I am looking at John McGinn and saying if I can get that boy for 25 million, that'll be a good deal. He really seems to be coming into his own.
But he's injury prone, no?
You, I mean, if you have John McGinn, you have McTominay and Fred sitting behind him, so you might as well just um, unless you want to like throw 100 million at Declan Rice, who the more I see him, the more he looks like uh, a McTominay regen. So why would I like just do the smart thing by
But
invest small?
the assist of yesterday's goal was pretty good. The ball that he put in for Antonio, the winner,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, how's
was a,
that going? Oh,
was a
that this
pretty,
bastard is
pretty
again coming back to haunt me. He's oh man,
yeah.
Antonio, why do you do this? Do it to me so?
You
Oh,
gotta stick with them, man.
gotta stick with
Uh,
him.
yeah.
I have I have two transfers
Until he
this week.
puts his hamstring, you gotta stick with him.
Oh, is that Balogun? I think Balogun's coming on. No, or is it? I'm not quite sure who that is.
Yeah. No.
Or is it?
Lapunga,
Oh, Lokonga. Okay, Sambi Lokonga.
Conga. Yeah.
Oh, Lokonga is actually pretty good. He's a great, what do you call, addition. Like it's a very smart move by Arsenal.
dude, Arsenal coming into their own now, dude.
No, dude, this is the first half. Spurs were absolutely ass. That's kind of why, but the
No,
game
but
was.
I saw it in the last game as well.
Mhm.
That their defenders, the newer signings, all of these guys, they're starting to click now, and they're starting to click as a team now. So they're not as bad the meme team as we thought they were. Like I think they're going to start doing really well.
Oh, here comes Tierney. What a
We
terrible
have
shot.
Shares asking a question. Arsenal is looking okayish, but they have a great fixture list, which I feel they should handle. But do you think they can handle?
I don't think they'll win all of them, like all of the next five. I think they'll drop points somewhere in the middle. Let's actually, can you pull up the fixture list so we can just run through it?
Okay, so they play Brighton, Crystal Palace, Villa, and Leicester. Watford, yeah, till Watford. I think they, and then they have international break after that.
Brighton, I don't think they win. Watford, I think they win. Palace will be a fun game, but I think they win the Palace game as well.
I think they might win the Brighton game as well.
No, Brighton look really good right
Brighton
now.
looking really good, but we'll get
Really
a
good.
yeah. Villa's going to be a tough game for them, I think.
Spurs are still flowing forward, dude. This game is not over.
Yeah, it's over. And then Leicester they win or
Leicester, I don't think Leicester look very good either. Actually, you
you
watched
watched
that
the
game.
game?
I haven't.
No, I didn't. I didn't. But
But he ended up.
all I know is the fifth, I think fourth or fifth guy to score an own goal and then score a brace. Those did you catch up on the Leicester City game?
I haven't. What do you call? Shreya
Anyone knows
says
Zidane speaks English?
Varane, like Rasal
Zidane.
Varane.
Zidane.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
I don't think
I've
he's
never
very.
heard him speaking English, dude.
I don't think he's very fluent, but he speaks. He knows.
I only remember him saying the word shit a lot. This guy
Why?
shit. Oh shit. Bale shit. That's it.
I'm sure they all have, because I assume some locker rooms they have to use English to speak to someone. Like I know him and Bex are friends, so I don't think Bex knows French or Spanish. I mean Spanish probably, but there has to be some sort of communication in there.
I'm sure he's learned over the years because he's at
Uh,
that level where he probably needs to pick up another
yeah,
language.
yeah. I
Do
think as
do
a
you guys
manager,
also think that United should be using Lingard more instead of Cavani? Like just retire him, dude, Cavani.
no, dude. I think Cavani is at at what he does. He doesn't require. I mean, he requires like his game is more position based. He's not more of a threat based striker. His movement in and around the box is great because nobody moves like that guy. Like you should see the way he
I
like
mean, you
runs.
have a movement in the box striker already, right? You have Ronaldo. You just need
Ronaldo
pace
is.
to support him and feed him.
Now Rashford is coming back. He's in training. I don't think he'll be ready till October. But we'll
I
have
think
to see
few weeks, yeah.
how that goes.
Mm.
I think Rashford. That in theory, that front line sounds scary. Rashford, Ronaldo, and Greenwood. But speaking of United front lines, let's talk about the West Ham game on that happened on Wednesday, which was United weren't bad. It's just that they have a striker who refuses to bloody move. And now there's a discussion, and I bought Wood for that, okay, because I wanted to watch the game. Biggest waste of money that I have had in the last 3 weeks, and
Wood.
Wood to watch the
Yeah,
Carabao Cup.
Wood actually put out a statement
last
saying
year.
that I know United has lost, but that's not a good enough reason to ask for a refund. So you have to continue your 1 month or whatever 1 year subscription.
Fuck, useless this is. Anyway,
You can hit me up. I have.
I mean,
I still,
not having Carabao Cup is like, where do you rotate your players and give them some game time before they get ready for the big matches?
FA Cup is there, dude. I mean, look at that goal. Oh my
I
god. So
know,
they
but if you want to give like your Phil Jones and all start,
Phil
or
Jones, I think
you
will
want to give
start.
your, for some reason you want to put Marshall in, I don't know why. You should just throw that guy out of
I
the
don't
team,
understand
dude.
why.
He's just. I think they're now discussing an Ndombele swap at Spurs, and I honestly let him go. Like I
Yeah,
that
I would
expression.
love. I would at
I
this
think you
point.
should give him away for free also, dude. It doesn't matter. Just don't keep him anymore.
Yeah.
Man. This game is petering to an end. I think Arsenal have this in the bag. I don't think they're conceding 2 goals in 5 minutes.
Forget
That
on.
would that would be peak Arsenal. They've come on. They've Arteta's made the right substitutions. They slowed the game down. Okay. Does anyone have anything else to add? Otherwise, we look to wrap this up.
Andy saying, Tushar, I feel Chelsea played okayish, but that goal was luck and control by Jesus. Yeah, that goal was a deflection.
Hmm.
But here's the thing, right? If you sit back defensively, the last
Yeah.
3 times it worked,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's like, yeah, you know. And then, I mean, it was a deflected goal that went in, right? And then when it doesn't work, the fans act like the sky is falling. Oh, we suck. You know? It's
It's
not, dude.
ma-
Like, if you sit at the
well,
back, the risk you take is that.
well, is that what's happening? Is that an overreaction from the Chelsea fan base?
No, they were like, there's a lot of Chelsea fans who feel like
Mm-hmm.
now we have a much more better attacking team. Why didn't we go all out on attack?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think Tuchel was like, this is my tried and tested formula, so why don't I
Uh-huh.
stick to it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like the only goal that went in was a deflected goal, so it still makes sense. However good City were, it still makes sense.
Okay.
But just want to put a stat in here while we
Uh-huh.
speak about this game. Whenever Jesus has scored a goal, City have never lost. So is that something that seemed to
Some
seem to happen?
divine intervention at play there.
Yeah,
Right?
But
divine goals.
Turning goals into wins. Oh, my back hurts.
any other interesting fixtures over the weekend?
Nothing else that is of what do you call? I think Leeds won again, and
Oh, West Ham won, no?
West Ham won. Leeds have won. Now
Antonio,
Arsenal have clearly won this.
Antonio scored the header, the winner.
Mickey Antonio.
Yeah,
But I think what we'll do is we'll come back to this. Maybe we'll do the live FPL episode a little earlier this week. I'll probably have a better understanding of what my schedule is like, because I think this gives us more time, more option, and like more wiggle room. So expect in the meantime, and at least I may not be on all the live streams from now, but I will start putting out small videos on the channel that are pre-recorded, giving my thoughts on certain situations, because obviously the time zone difference is what it is. That should start hopefully this week, and so we're not all bound to just this one live stream slot that we may not be able to make at times. I think that's the idea is open to everybody on the channel as well, right? Like I expect if Akshay wants to do it, he'll do it. If Tushar wants to do it, he'll do it. The same goes for Sid. So yeah, if anybody has any other questions, we'll talk about it. Otherwise, we'll look to wrap this up.
Yeah, sounds
yeah,
good.
sounds good. Sounds good to me as well.
Cool. All right. That seems to be the end. We shall see you guys sometime during the week. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right. Good night. Bye bye.